Hello, welcome, or welcome back to the Talking Joe podcast. How are you? How have you been? It's been a minute. More like it's been a week. It's good to hear from you. I've been good. From the last episode, that was like a week ago. I've been good. I've been in a better place in the last 1 week. I hope you've been too. I hope you've had the best of experiences in the last 1 week. The week has been fun. But I hope you've been enjoying yourself, despite all that can happen at the same time. Well, if you haven't, keep hanging on. Your best days are coming. Whew. So, this is in a bit to keep up with my consistency hack. I have a goal to put out as many episodes of this podcast at least before the end of the year. So, this is in a bit to keep up with my consistency hack, because left to me, I was contemplating on recording this episode. Reasons best known to me. But we have to be serious. Alright, so this week, something happened. It's not a big deal, but I want to use it as a driveway. So, I found out something that was not strange to me, because I had experienced it, but it was strange watching people behave that way, because for me, it made me understand that I too behaved that way some time ago. So, I'm not even going to go into the whole gist, confidentiality purposes, but I found out something. One of the not to talk about steps of your Christian walk, in fact of maturity in your Christian walk, is that the older you grow, you start asking questions that you never thought to ask. And I mean questions like, this thing I've always believed, why do I believe it? Can we prove it? Is it true? Is it sensible? The reason I say this is because there is a verse of scripture very popular, and I think it's 1 Timothy 3:16, that says, "All scripture is given by the inspiration of God for doctrine, for correction in righteousness, for reproof, and for what I think for some translation says for proof and for reproof, that the man of God may be perfect," like KJV says. Other translation says complete. But about not quoting for quoting sake, I only quoted because in verse 17, that part where he says that the man of God may be complete or perfect, the word perfect there is not used as in no flaws or no error. That's not the idea. In the Greek, sorry, this is next time, but in the Greek, what the writer was trying to communicate, Apostle Paul to Timothy, was that the man of God may be mature. We grow from where he is to a higher point. And like I said, one of the not so told signs is you start to question a lot of the things you've believed. For instance, while you were younger, if you were saved, or if you heard the gospel when you were younger, you probably heard something along the lines of, give your life to Christ or you go to hell. Then when you grow older, you now start asking questions like, go to hell? Where is hell? Why do I have to believe this message? Now, I'm not saying don't disbelieve or what. I'm just saying these questions are necessary, because what the push you to do is they push you to research what you have believed. They push you to research what you have believed. Because I find that is one of the problems we have as Christians, as charismatics, of which I am one. But one of the issues we have as charismatics is we believe everything hook, line, and sinker. We don't research facts. We hear something and we are like, that sounds good. And then we've believed it. The issue with that is this. If you don't research something, one, you cannot convincingly communicate that thing to somebody else. Because if you've not been able to answer the questions that you have in your head, how can you answer the same questions that someone else has? How can you convince them to believe what you believe when you don't know why you believe what you believe? This is necessary because I had a conversation with a colleague at work this week, and I told my colleague, and we were just talking about the effect of doctrine. And then my colleague, and we were talking, and I said, it's necessary that we believe the right things. And then he said, and I quote, he said, people don't understand that what you believe has a way of shaping you in your absence, such that you can believe something wrongly and you will do absolutely nothing about it, but it will carve out a personality, arrange your life, fix your life, set you on a different course, and just allow you go, while you impute 0 to 1% of yourself into that thing. And it made a lot of sense to me, because what are the principles? And like I told him, I said, the principles and values of a strong and committed life cannot be passive. That thing, the pillars that will hold your life, that will guide your life, they cannot just be things that you allow slide while you do nothing about them. Whether as it relates to your social life or as it relates to your Christian walk, the things you've believed, why do you believe them? That's my question today. You believe Jesus Christ saves. He came to the cross to die. He died, and on the third day he rose again. Why do you believe it? Have you ever stopped to check? Why do I believe it? Because I was told. The person who told me, why does the person believe it? Because they were told. There has to be some logic. There has to be a way for me to convince myself that this thing is true. Because what convictions do is they shape your mindset, such that when you are going through life, like I like to say, when life is lifing, you can have something to say, you know what, I once believed at some point this message. It was not a lie then. It certainly can't be a lie now. Why do you believe? I guess that's my question today. Do you believe because daddy told you? Mommy told you? They did a lot, and it's necessary that they told you. Because belief is predicated upon information. You have to be told something for you to believe something. They've told you, leaving the burden of proof for you to go and find out why you believe it. Is necessary, very necessary. I can't place my hand on telling you how much it matters that as you grow as a Christian, you start asking the right questions. This is as a side. Because, like I was saying, while having this conversation with my colleague, he asked me. In fact, before now, he had asked me before. And then we were talking and I told him, I said, I've had to do a lot of work upon some of the things I have always believed. In fact, while we were having an argument over something, when I told him my view, he said, that view, you can't prove it by biblically. In fact, I think it was we had a conversation about Cain and Abel. And then I was trying to tell him that the basis for acceptance from Abel was not because of what Abel offered. And he was like, no, that I can't prove that thing from scripture, that I was told. Now, it sounded nice, seeing that if you read the account of Cain and Abel in the book of Genesis, that detail is not there. In Genesis, you have to actually read your intent into the scriptures to say that, oh, this. So I asked myself, that's true, I can't prove this thing from Genesis. So I remembered. In Hebrews, while listing the heroes of faith, Cain and Abel, just before or just after that book, that part of the book, they are there. So I went to study upon it that same day. And I said, come, I can prove it. And he said, well, we opened the book of Hebrews and I reported it to him. And he said, where it clearly stated that Abel's sacrifice was given in looking forward to what Christ will come to do. And he almost did not accept. And it was understandable for me because, I had a belief that I had to reinforce by asking myself why and by finding out proof so that I could defend it adequately to him. I say this because our convictions shape us. What we believe, they do a lot more than we think. And if they do a lot more than we think, don't we think we are wrong if we do not know why we are being shaped by something? Don't you think you are wrong if you have no idea why what is shaping you is shaping you? I think I am wrong. Do you? If you do, maybe this is a call for you to check the things you believed. Alright, that's the episode for today. Or better still, that's the episode for today. And this might just be a series on conviction. Who knows? Thank you.